This is WGAL 8 in Focus. Coverage you can count on.
Julie Brown was released from the hospital in November after spending 9 months in 5 hospitals with COVID. She was on a ventilator for about 250 of those days. Julie joins me now from her home in Hanover. Julie, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling better every day.
What was that like for you to be in the hospital for so many months?
Overwhelming. Thank God I had the support that I had. My family is wonderful. They kept in touch with me every day, gave me words of encouragement, made sure I stayed positive every day. It can be lonely in the hospital, but having that support was very helpful for me.
I was going to say, I imagine it's very isolating.
It is. My husband and I were talking. We never spent time apart except for, a business trip here or there. So we never really had time apart. We've been married for 26 years, and it is a feeling like no other. That for 9 months you're basically single.
Wow. What kind of treatment did you undergo, Julie?
I had to get on an ECMO machine. After I got on the ventilator, that wasn't enough for my lungs, so I went on ECMO for 4 months. Then after I was on that, I had to wean my way off of a ventilator.
Wow. Explain ECMO. That helps deliver oxygen to your blood.
It does. It's similar to what they do with babies that are premature. So it focuses on your lungs and your heart, takes the blood out of your system and cleans it, and then puts it back in so that your heart and your lungs can rest and repair.
Wow, what an ordeal. Now, Julie, you were not vaccinated. How did that happen?
It was back in February of 2021, and at that time, vaccinations were only for the Group A or people who were in healthcare or at high risk, and it wasn't me at the time. So we were busy trying to get our mother, who was more of a high risk person, a shot. But for me, it wasn't a priority at the time because we couldn't get the shots.
But you have since been vaccinated?
I have.
How do you think you got COVID? Any idea?
I think it was at work. Our work was very stringent on making sure that you wore a mask and you were 6 feet apart. A coworker of mine and I had a meeting on a Friday for 2 hours, and I think just sitting across the table from each other, even though we had masks and we're 6 feet apart, I think that's where I got it, because I didn't know anyone else who had it.
What's your advice now to people who may be still on the fence about vaccination and, of course, the social distancing and wearing masks?
My advice would be to go get a shot. If you can lessen the effects of COVID and get a milder case of it, if you would get it, it's so much better, because even people like me who had no conditions going into it, it was very serious, and it's life-changing. So if you can get that shot, and be particular with who you're around and where you go. There's ways that you can communicate with people now that you don't have to be face to face or 6 feet apart. You could still socialize and be with family. You just do it in a different way now.
Just quickly, what's your long-term prognosis?
I'm hoping for a full recovery. My lungs, they're getting better. I still have a little bit of oxygen yet. I do have COVID toes, if you've heard of that, but I can't walk right now because my feet are still really sore. But I'm hoping that I am starting to walk right now, little by little, with a lot of in-home therapy. So I'm hoping to have a full recovery, to be able to walk and to be able to breathe without oxygen.
Well, we certainly hope so, too. Thanks so much, Julie, for joining us and for sharing your story.
Thank you.
If you want to get a test for coronavirus, there are sites across the Susquehanna Valley available.